Hi, everyone. It's Timothy Lewis with PKGX and the T Association, T Protocol. Wanted to give a community update. I know many of you have been waiting quite a long time and are excited for the launch of our network. Wanted to go over a few things in our community first. So I've got some key updates today and some talking points. The first, we'll start with the community. Understanding the community and its roles. There are many different types of roles or many different types of individuals that are in our community, and we have to learn how to respect each other and welcome each other in this community. Uh, Early on, it's the initial investors and the core developers that made the difference in trying to build out what our community is and was. Then came along a lot of OSS developers, the real core constituents of our ecosystem and building out our ecosystem. Alongside them came a number of Web3 developers, and we'll continue to promote the community towards Web3 development as we continue to build the network in a way to where it's best in class, both infrastructure and developer tooling. Then the airdrop participants came in, those that were seeking to test our network. There was a lot of advertising and marketing done towards a push that was for the initial application, when just the initial application was being released on the base network. There are on-chain natives, those that really know how to use Web3, those that are there to participate and potentially earn additional value in the network. There are traders and speculators coming. They've been alerted. A lot of them are already excited, but they will be looking into our community to understand what we're all about and to understand if it's something for them to be trading on short term or long term. There are investors that will come along, those that believe in the longer term mission of what it is that we are building and what it is that our network will build. And then there will be application users. This blockchain community consists of many different types of participants, everyone having a role in its success, but also every one of them having their own needs. We're trying to be very inclusive of the participants in a fair and global way that suits the regulatory guidelines that our legal teams, both at the development company and for those at the association, will allow us to adhere to. The more someone uses and participates in the ecosystem beyond just holding tokens, or especially beyond getting rid of tokens immediately as soon as they get them, the more valuable that they are. Distinguishing between long-term community members and those seeking quick profits is something that we are actively doing, trying to make sure that we distribute our asset to those that are in lines with being long-term community members. The comparison of different types of token holders, there are going to be whales, guppies, contributors, passive holders, extractors, etc., is something that we're working on doing. And we believe that those that get to understand the core technology infrastructure of what we've built out will be long-term holders and believe in what we're creating and what the economy that we're creating for open source. There are incentive mechanisms that are designed to allow community ecosystem growth, not just to reward speculative behavior. There are good and bad examples of members of each of these roles in our ecosystem and in all ecosystems. So get aligned with us. This is a long-term project. This isn't meant for short-term speculation. We're looking very much forward to actually launching the initial network, and that will be happening very soon. There's a lot of excitement for the launch, and there's a lot of considerations that are going on. We have to understand that you get one chance to launch, period. And that launch really then becomes market dependent. We have to wait for favorable conditions, and we'll be advised by our market makers about when to launch. The development has been ongoing for 3.5 years, and there's no rush to launch prematurely. We try our best to understand our guidelines and give the community some indication of such, but we'll be more restrictive about our dates because honestly, it really is just market dependent at this point. The platform is technically ready. It's been audited and it's nearing readiness for all of the integrations. The contracts for both the network and application protocol have been audited by multiple audit partners, and everything looks good. There are key integrations underway, including bridges, RPCs, indexes, etc., and several agreements being finalized this week. Speaking of one, we have a sequencing partner, and there's a testnet delay in the Sepolia testnet. So a major sequencing services partner is being finalized on Monday. We're very excited to announce who this is. They're going to be a great partner for T. This has had a slight impact on the timeline for launching the incentivized testnet Sepolia. So the Sepolia testnet participants will play a key role in ensuring smooth mainnet launch by testing not only our network, but a number of our applications and bridges across the networks. rewards and airdrop distribution. So I want to address some things. We have many different ways that people have participated up until this point, and we can talk about them individually. There were base app ITN rewards and Gleam rewards. There was the Assam contest. There have been awards for developers who have submitted open source repositories and then staked those open source repositories and connected them. Then there will be the T, Sepolia ITN. We have to finalize the integration with our airdrop partner now to manage that distribution, as you know. Users will soon be able to check rewards and claim eligibility, but there is a KYC process that is necessary for fair distribution and to prevent abuse. Far too many people abuse the initial DApp ITN. We want to promote fairness and fair distribution to all participants. And so that includes thinking about multiple KYC methods to be able to make sure that we are able to really capture the people and not prevent people, but make sure that those that, say, created thousands of accounts don't reap more rewards than those that just created accounts for themselves and behaved fairly within the guidelines. So we'll be introducing a ZK Pass attestation method for verifying participants for a cost-effective and scalable way. It also will have some effect on the ability of our network to understand and have applications work using this attestation. So this will be done in a zero-knowledge method, and this will work through the attestation of a KYC account on many well-known exchanges, whether they list us or not. So we will be able to have the attestation occur on many of the well-known exchanges, and we'll go into details about that very soon. The methodology for linking old ITN accounts, the old base app ITN accounts, to the new chain, the new Sepolia chain for registration, will come shortly as well. Those are all being defined. We wanted to make sure that, again, that the value was just being distributed fairly, and that those that created hundreds and thousands of accounts in some cases don't reap more of the rewards than those that participated properly. As far as bridging RPC indexing and integrations go, there are announcements coming soon this week, I expect. So we will be signing some of these and finalizing the integrations on bridge partnerships, RPC and index partnerships, and ensuring a seamless transition for existing users. Really, our goal is best in class from a developer user experience. So we're really going after some of the best in class integrations that are possible in the Ethereum Layer 2 ecosystem. Governance structure, talking a little bit about how the company is broken down versus the association. Most people don't necessarily agree with organizations or understand what organizations have to do to properly launch a tokenized asset in the regulatory parameters of where they're living in the world. The way that we've done this is we've created a development company, which is pkgx.dev, that I am the CEO of, who are building out the protocol and network design for the T Association. The T Association will ultimately issue the token, engage in any sort of sales or distribution of the token, engage in all of the exchange relationships, engage in all of the market-making relationships, etc. So it's a big lift from that team. The relationship and the responsibilities vary on each side, but one of the more important things that we have to finalize is the IP and MSA service agreements between these two entities before full deployment. That's been something that's been worked on for months, and that should be finalizing this week as well. So that will allow for a lot more of the outward notifications and alerts to come from the Swiss Association based on them being able to finalize their agreements. Final thoughts here. We are all thankful. We're thankful for your patience and your long-term commitment, and for those that really do believe in the core principles of what we're trying to build at T. We really are trying to make the world a better place for open source incentives. We believe that will encourage the development of our network and many applications on our network that make the long-term value of T much higher than it could be without all the participants that are there. Everything is being carefully constructed for sustainability. Everything has to be done in certain ways when in consideration for legal, in certain ways when consideration for a global ecosystem, and in consideration for the core constituents of the developers that we want to support in our ecosystem. This wasn't just some copy-paste project. There were deep thoughts and deep changes that went into some of the core infrastructure of what we're doing that we think will make a radical change to what's available to developers on the blockchain, allowing them to create the applications that welcome in the next hundreds of millions of users on T. So there will be some updates in the next few days, weeks on many different things, but really we're keeping an eye on the external market conditions and how they impact the timeline. We only get one chance to launch, and so thank you for your patience. But be excited. We're all excited here. We're excited to have you. We'll work this out. We're here hard working. We appreciate you. Thank you.